get started. Next up, we have Revenge from the Everhood soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider becoming a member, paid subscription, think further, support the channel that way. And 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this is my first time hearing this track ever. So I will be pausing a lot, because I'm going to be pointing things out as I hear them. And number 2, this is happening live on stream, which means I might stumble upon my words, stuff like that. So, yes, divas, yes, we do. So, with that being said, let's do this. Let's check this out. Revenge from the Everhood soundtrack. Let's see. Okay, we're 6 seconds in, and the first thing I'm hearing is the first thing I'm thinking of is Ultra Kill. So we are having a couple of elements already. We are having several. I think it's 2 electric guitars, in the most literal sense. They are MIDI or virtual sound instrument electric guitars. Virtual sound is just samples, right? And these are very retro samples. Reminds me a lot of Ultra Kill. Like, it just the sound here reminded me a lot of Ultra Kill soundtracks. We are having 1 guitar panned to the left ear, 1 guitar panned to the right ear. So let's get started with the concept of panning, right? So, in the modern day, nowadays, we use stereo as our standard for when it comes to speakers. The overwhelming majority of people in planet Earth have 2 ears, left and right, and they both function as intended. So when it comes to stereo, we use left and right speakers. So panning is giving the priority to one over the other. So we have left ear, right ear. We have you right here in the middle, all happy, deformed, and bald, therefore evil. And the way you pan something is you will have a specific track. Let's say, for example, guitar number 1, and you want to put it on left ear. Then all you do is you turn down the volume on the right ear. Because on stereo sound, in order for something to sound like it comes directly in front of you, you need to have it full volume on both ears. And that's how it sounds from in front of you. The more you lower one ear, the further to the other side it's going to sound. And you can just mess around with that kind of thing. There is a very interesting illusion that you can do, which is if you lower the volume enough on both ears, it starts sounding like it's coming from behind. It's one of those reasons why some horror games, you will be able to hear things that are behind you, even though, technically speaking, we only have the 2 speakers. We don't have anything behind us speaker-wise. There's no surround sound. It's just stereo, but you are able to emulate it just by doing panning. So right now, we are panning one of the guitars, the guitar playing the chords on the left ear, the guitar on the right ear, doing more of a rhythm kind of thing. True Super Ninja, welcome today. How you doing? And there's that, right? Like we're having that, and we are having a synth playing arpeggios. Arpeggios, I don't think I've ever written this down. Arpeggios is when you play a chord 1 note at a time. That's all it is. That's all arpeggios are, just playing a chord 1 note at a time. And then we have, of course, the drum kit, which is, well, it's the drum kit. It's just giving us an initial beat. So yeah, we got that much out of 6 seconds. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so now we've changed over to the actual start. We just had an intro, now we're changing to the start, and we have our motif. The motif being the smallest version of our musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from, right? And in this case, that is being carried by the synth and one of the guitars. That's the melody that we've been hearing. It is uncanny how similar this sounds to Ultra Kill. What year did Everhood come out? Because, yeah, no, it's eerie how how similar it's sounding to Ultra Kill. Let's see here. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, the drums have sped up, but we are overall still doing the same motif. We are just doing doublings. So a doubling is a instrumentation / orchestration principle. Instrumentation orchestration / orchestration is basically the idea of doing the right, putting the right instruments for the right sound and the right psychological response. So doublings is when you have more than one instrument doing the thing. You can have more than two. It's really warm. You can have more than two instruments doing the same line. The idea of doubling just means there's more than one doing the same line. And Otris, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. So yes, we have that. And we went from the synth and one of the guitars to the synth and the other guitar, and it's giving it kind of like an organ sound. Because it turns out the guitars were having a slightly different tone from each other. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And that's one of those things, right? Like in an orchestra, if you get a certain combination of instruments, you can make it sound like it's an organ, even though there is no organ present. You can have that. That entirely done with orchestration and doublings and that kind of thing. Let's see where this goes. Okay, and now we have jumped into a contrasting section. So in music, you have form, which is just structure, right? It's just the academic way of calling structure. And in form, you divide your structure into sections. And now, a section is going to be whatever you're doing with your musical idea, right? So we started with an intro. Yeah. The first one of the day. My writing is horrible. Well, my writing's always horrible. It's just particularly horrible letter right now. So, so we went from the intro to section A, which was that first use of the motif and everything. Now we move over to section B. Section B is a contrasting section, new material and everything, and as I say, there's always a careful balance to be had between what is familiar and what is new. When you're a musician, you want a very, very careful balance between the two. False Acid, welcome today. How you doing? Good to see you. So, if you keep things too familiar, it's going to bore your listener and it's going to just tune out. If you put too many new things in too quickly, then you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. So it's a very, very difficult balance, or a very tricky balance, it can be. So one of the things that you need to do when you go from section A to section B is not do completely unrelated and new material. So what did we do here when we changed from section A to section B? One, we kept a similar rhythm with the guitars, we kept a similar tone with everything, and we grabbed the melody, and we did an inversion. So, in music is composed of three main elements: melody, harmony, and rhythm. Melody is, you know, the melody itself. That's, I don't know how else I can explain it. It's the actual melody. Harmony is what chords you're using, how they interact with each other, and the overarching structure that they have. And rhythm is rhythm, how fast, how slow, when things happen. So when it comes to melodies, you can have something called an inversion. It's one of the ways that you can develop a melody. The concept of inversion is basically you have a melodic shape, you take that, and you flip it upside down. And that's what we did with section B over here. With section B, we've taken the motif, we inverted it, and now we have section B. And we did a change with the drums. So let's see where this goes. Alright, thank you for hanging out, Clay. Let's see. Okay, so right now, what we did, on top of the inversion, we did something called sequencing. So sequencing is taking a motif that you already have, repeating it, but not repeating it from the same spot, repeating it from a new spot, usually somewhere else on the scale. It's the same melodic idea, it's just starting from a new spot on this scale. It's super effective in adding drama and adding tension. And when it comes to music, once again, you are doing one of two things. You are building tension, or you are resolving that tension. That little point in between, we call cadence. Yep, cadence. So right now, we are building towards another cadence right now. Let's see where it goes. We bring in twin guitars right after that. Man, that's fun. That's fun. That's really cool. So twin guitars, the concept of twin guitars, is a colloquial term. Colloquial just means there is no academic term to it, or at least I'm not using it, because the concept of twin guitars is exactly what we're hearing. One guitar panned to each ear, each of them doing the melody from a different starting point, and we're having that. And I think we've gone back to A, melodically speaking. I think it's back to A. It's the same melody that we have in A, but this time it's just, you know, the rhythm is different and everything, so we would call it A prime, which is a variation of A. So twin guitars is basically we are having both of the guitars playing the same overall shape at the same time, just from different starting points. If I were to put this in academic terms, this would probably be just harmonized guitars, probably. Again, like many of these academic terms might not fully fit what we're doing, but yes, that's what that's what it is. So yes, deep levels, exactly. So let's see where this goes, because that was really cool. Let's see where it goes. Really cool melody. Brightless, yeah. No, that's the actual initial melody. So here we did, instead of A, we did C. However, it sounds here that all these spots over here, all three of these, so let me just change this over to letter C. These three would make overall A. Like, these could be just a larger, all-encompassing A section, and we're about to do something different. Let's see where it goes. Because now we're recapitulating this part over here. Yes, it did, Nico, yeah. Insane. So yeah, there you go. So we did this ABCA kind of thing, and now we are started a completely new section with a completely new thing. So it looks like we are doing like these mini structures, doing A, all-encompassing A. Now we're starting with the all-encompassing B, which started with an A, with a mini A, going towards now another mini B, but this A and this A might not be the same. These ones are the same, but B here instead of B might be D in this case, because it's a completely different section over here. But overall, that's just what we are doing. So the structure seems we are having A and C, and then in the middle, it's where we are changing things around. I don't know what the structure is, but it's working. I mean, overall, it seems like an A, B, probably A again, but let's see where it goes. And partially these are solos, so... Oh, nice. Ooh, that's nice. So that was one hell of an extended cadence, and now we are bringing it back to C. So yeah, I'm right here. So let me just C and C. Oh, it's such a beautiful melody to make an overarching beat. and let's see where are we going with this. A complete break. These twin guitars are beautiful. Like, this is... I was not expecting something from Everhood to be this metal. I was not expecting this. So, J3RE, welcome today. Usually at this time, yeah. So, we have this... now we brought in the organ. And again, when it comes to instrumentation, orchestration, the organ is such a... It's such a straightforward answer. It is the whole idea of the higher than thou, because of the psychological response. Again, when you're orchestrating your instrument, you're doing instrumentation, you're doing orchestration, you are figuring out what has the best sound, not just for the texture, but for the psychological response. When it comes to a piano and a keyboard, usually you can have like you can imagine a single person there. Like, it still has somewhat of a mark of status, but it doesn't go farther than the individual. However, when you think of an organ, like one of those big pipe organs, you need to design buildings around those things. Those things are expensive to build, let alone handle, like just maintain, right? So it's one of those things that only churches and symphony halls, concert halls, that kind of thing can have. So with that, you end up giving already that psychological response of whatever this is, way higher than me. So it's a good way of adding contrast. Let's see where this goes. Completely. So right now we're doing a break with, I guess, part E over here. Complete contrast. Never mind. Okay. So structurally speaking, we extended this little bit of B over here. We had E, now we're going back to C. And this E over here, we would call a break. We would call that a break. Or maybe even a bridge. It's a relatively new, relatively unrelated material, but it's there to be put as an in-between kind of thing, and this still could count as part of B. Like, all of this could still count as part of B. We just ended up repeating C again. Let's see where this goes, because this is really good. What a track, yeah. And now we are in the climax of the piece. We have both of the guitars doing this very beautiful twin guitar melody, and in the back we are having the synth that we had at the beginning doing those very simple arpeggios. In the beginning, what we had in the beginning is that the synth was doing the arpeggios going up. Now we are having the arpeggios going up and down at a way higher speed. Overall, still using the same idea, but now we're doing something different. And again, when you bring a climax to any sort of piece, that's what you're doing. You are bringing as much of the material, as many elements as you can, into this spot over here, and that's it. That's it. You revisit as much as you can in a single part, and that's how it feels like a climax. Let's see where it goes. Guitar solo. Ooh. Okay, so these could be considered solos. So these technically are solos, and when it comes to solos, it's pretty free form in that sense. So over here we had section C, now we have solos, and I think we're gonna end up with outro after that, just the outro. So solos tend to be very much like a Section X, where you are pretty free to do almost anything you want, as long as you keep including some of the elements. Like, for example, right now, the elements we are using is we are still using the backing track from C in the solo section. So, yeah. And yeah, of course, if the bot fails to add, it's either the song has already been added or the artist does not allow embeds. So there's that. So yeah, let's see where this goes, because it's almost over, and we are having some solos. We're having a little bit of stuff here. Let's see where it goes. Okay. One last time. Bring a lot of chords here. Nice. Ooh. So right now, the big change that has been happening, and I love how this can happen, it's just the drums. We are repeating the same bit. We are repeating the outro. This is just outro territory. We are just repeating it and letting the drums completely change the vibe of the whole thing. Like, this is one of the best things about metal, in my opinion, just how much the drum kit can truly change everything. Like, once again, for those of you who want a very clear example of how much rhythm and drums can truly just completely change a piece, the intro to, I think it's The Mirror by Dream Theater. The guitarist is playing the exact same rhythm, and the drums just changes everything. I'll play this after this one because of copyright. But yeah, let's see. We've got 12 seconds left to see how we ended. Please do not fade this out for the love of God. Is there some reduction to it? What has reduction is the arpeggios. The arpeggios from the synth are now reduced, because the time that it used to take the synth to do the arpeggios one way up, it's now taking it to go up and down. So that is technically reduction. Reduction, by the way, since it was brought up, reduction is one of the two ways that you can, it's one of the ways that you can rhythmically alter a motif, the other one being elongation. Reduction just means you are taking something and you're compressing it so that it takes less time and it happens faster. Neptuno, welcome today. So yeah, no, and elongation is the opposite when you stretch something out. So let's say a motif that would take 1 second now takes half a second. That's reduction. A motif that would take 1 second now lasts 2 seconds. Now that is elongation. So let's see where this goes, because it's about to end. Let's see. How are you gonna end this? Ah! Yes! Okay. And we end this with a half cadence. So, half cadence. Yeah, I can type, I promise. So half cadence is a very, very special type of cadence. As I mentioned before, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension or you are resolving the tension. The point in the middle is cadence. However, a half cadence is just half of that. You end the piece by keeping the tension. Now, that is a very risky move, because sometimes it might not work. Right now, in my opinion, it did. I even found it funny that it just does that, and that way it can just loop back to the beginning. Yeah, calling it like edging or blue balling, that's one way of putting it. I disavow, but you're not wrong. So yes, a half cadence is basically to leave the cadence unresolved, because usually when you do a full cadence, it means that the section ends with the resolution and then the new one starts with that resolution already done. Half cadences can be used so that the cadence starts in one section and is resolved at the start of the next. That's usually the purpose of a half cadence, to help you transition between sections. However, when you use it as an ending tool, it can have that effect of, ooh, you cheeky bastard kind of thing. And there you go. That was Revenge from the Everhood OST. Man, that was a lot. I was not expecting this to be as metal as it was. That was awesome. That was awesome. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer. My objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. Cheeky. Very cheeky. Yes, very, very cheeky. So if you're watching this in the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, all that good stuff. If you want to request a song and you're not on the... Oh my god, I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna address that in a moment. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, you need to go to the Discord and follow the instructions on the LFA requests channel on the pinned comments. If you want to listen to this track without me interrupting every 3 seconds, it will be linked down below. And if you want to catch the streams live, check the Discord, check the Twitch channel. They both have the stream schedule showing on your local time zone. We usually do as much as we can Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know what that is in your local time zone, check the Discord and the Twitch. They both have the stream schedule in your local time zone. And, yeah, if you want to give priority to your request, we have the bribe list. If you give more than $5, you get put in the bribe list, and they take priority during the offline queue. There you go. So, yeah, there you go. That was Revenge from the Everhood OST. That was good stuff, man. That was really, really good stuff. Yeah, let's move on.